Hello, hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink with Halloween cards using the CZ Design Witch Please stamp set again. I couldn't help myself. I love this set, it's so fun. And I'm obsessed with the spooky sky technique, which I've already done a couple videos on this year, and I've done previous videos in previous years. And I'll have the link to Stacey Hutchinson's blog post that started this whole technique and phenomena. It is so much fun. So I have some Ranger white heavy stock cardstock. This heavy stock has a smooth finish and it holds a lot of water and all the things you need something like that. I've done this technique with the white heavy stock. I've used the cream heavy stock. I've used watercolor paper. You just need a paper that can handle a lot of liquid because you're using sprays and water and all the things. So I have that, and then I have a couple of circle masks. I'm using just the Tim Holtz moon masks, and I'm going to do two different backgrounds with the same colors, but I'm going to do two different sizes because there was two more witch images in the stamp set, and I was like, I have to use them. So you can kind of fiddle with this sort of technique. Like, I've done it in sort of different ways, and my biggest thing is trying to ease up on how much I'm spraying on these backgrounds, because you don't need much. You think you need to add more. Trust me, you don't. So I wanted to do like a purpley blue spooky sort of sky. So I'm using black soot spray stain. I added some Salvaged patina, which is just beautiful. Uncharted Mariner, which the more I play with this color, because this is the newest distress color that was released back in June, I think. Love it. So Uncharted Mariner, and then Seedless Preserves Distress Oxide Spray. And then, of course, I'm going to add some mica stains. I'm using the Fortune Teller and the Iron Gate mica stains. But those two, I eased up on just how much. I was curious, because I'm very heavy-handed. It's like just more is more. But again, you can lighten up with this. So as I was showing on screen, I was just spraying the sprays. I've got my heat tool here, like my to help like dry things too. I've got a little bit of paper towel here. I'm spraying water, and you just create a big old mess, and it is fun. And again, like I have ink everywhere. Like I it's all over me. It's all over everything. I have fun. This is why I don't really wear nice clothes or anything like that. And yeah, because I make a mess. And again, the beauty of this, any technique using sprays, really, when you're playing around with the distress sprays and all that, like I'm literally using the exact same colors. These two backgrounds turn out completely different. The colors, the color combo is the same, but just the way things move and react and all the things. So as I'm like spraying, and then you remove the mask, you spray with water, because these are all water reactive, and that's what pulls that color into the open circle space, and that's what creates that spooky moon sort of a look that just, again, it is, I don't know, there's just something so unbelievably satisfying creating these backgrounds. I could do this all day, every day. And I love some of you in the comments saying like, I sat down and played with sprays like all day and made so many backgrounds. And I'm like, yes, do it. It is so fun. Whether you complete a project or not. Tim Holtz always says that in his videos too. Like just create for the sake of creating. Like you don't have to do finished projects, like just play with backgrounds, play with products. And it is really fun. So this time I didn't add anything more. I know, shocking, but I'm going to add everything else after. So once these were dry, I trimmed them down with my paper trimmer. So I trimmed down the one for the A2 card to like 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then this one is going to be for a mini slimline card. So I trimmed it down to 3 by 6, I think, and got it all trimmed down. And you see me bending it kind of back and forth. Even though this heavy stock, like it can handle a lot of liquid, any cardstock, it's going to warp, you're adding liquid and heat and all the things, but you just kind of, I'm not bending it enough to crease it. I'm just kind of bending it to flatten it out a little bit more. So you can also, if you're, doing a bunch of backgrounds, once they're dry, stick them under some heavy books. Another thing I've shown in videos, and I actually did it with these, but I didn't have it on camera, is I actually ran these through my ink machine, or a laminator will work. I have the protective bits over everything, and I just ran them through, and the heat flattened these out. So once they were trimmed down, I used black soot, just distress ink, and I went over the edges with my blending tool just to cover up, because that exposed white edge when I trimmed them down, and that took that away. Plus, I then used the blending tool and just very lightly blended all around the edges this black soot distress ink. It just gives it that little extra something. But again, I went with a light hand with this. I didn't want to pull it in too deep, and I also didn't want to cover up all these, just the colors. That's, my previous video doing this, I did a flat shaker card. I did this technique, but I did like greens, for the spooky background. And then like a week ago or whenever, when I did cards using this spooky skies technique, I did that like rusty, earthy color combo. Like, seriously, you guys, it is so much fun. So anyway, back to the cards. I wanted to heat emboss these silhouette images. These backgrounds are completely dry. I made sure the black soot that I blended around the edges, like everything is dry, but I tested it out first because I'm going to be adding embossing powder, and there's nothing worse than stamping something and you pour your embossing powder over it and it clings to everything. So I used my anti-static powder tool. I poured the embossing powder over it. Everything's good to go. So now I can line these images up in my Misty, and again, anti-static powder tool. And then I'm stamping the images with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I'm going to stamp these twice to make sure I get all the detail, because these are, solid silhouette images. And then I'm using some black sparkle embossing powder. I went on and on in my last video, my distrust and, dislike of regular black embossing powder. I use it when I really, really want to, but I generally will avoid it. But black sparkle embossing powder is fun. Now this one I don't think is available anymore, but I'll link to a similar one. Ranger has a black glitter embossing powder, and I think there's other brands too. But yeah, really pretty. And I'll show at the end, because, seeing it like this doesn't really fully do it justice. But it made these images pop. So they've got like that, glossy finish, but then the sparkle. So they really stand out. Like, look at it. Love. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I enjoy making Halloween cards so much. Seriously, you guys, like, I don't decorate my house. It's not a thing for me, really, but I will knock these cards out and do all these videos and fully 1,000% enjoy myself. Like, I just love it. So anyway, this is how I celebrate Halloween. So anyway, did the same thing to the second card. Stamped the image, heat embossed it with that black glitter embossing powder. And then this set just goes with this stencil. Like, they're just meant to be together. The stencil came out like last year or the year before, I forget now. The layered bat stencil, which I've used, of course, in several Halloween videos because it's one of my go-tos. So I took the stencil and I'm just blending the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink over these bats, and purposely avoiding the image. I don't want to blend like anything around it, you know what I mean, or like directly on it. So just moving the stencil around, and I'm going to blend these bats, and again, it just makes the scene, complete in my mind. So I did that with both of these cards. I'm using Simon's very, very low tack tape. I'm really liking it for masking. I used to use Post-it tape for stuff like this, but I'm really liking using this low tack tape, because my concern sometimes is if anything is a little bit too sticky and it sticks to the stencil, you can, pull up bits of your background. Not that I've necessarily ever really had that happen, but just saying. So anyway, did all that. I also heat embossed sentiments from the Witch Please stamp set. I heat embossed them with white embossing powder on black cardstock, and I die cut them with the coordinating wafer dies. And I also heat embossed a couple of the little companion sentiments from the same set on some plum cardstock and trim those down. I'll add those later. And then my card bases, I used Simon's Island Blue cardstock, which is quite a bright color. It's gorgeous. But it was too bright for these card fronts. So I just took the Uncharted Mariner Distress ink and blended that around the perimeters of these card bases. And it just, you know, tones it down a bit, gives it more that extra like kind of turquoise look. Plus it pulls out that color that's in the spooky sky backgrounds. So one of my cards is going to be a top folding A2 size card, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then this other one is going to be a mini slimline card, so it'll be a 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 inches. So blended on those inks, and then inside the cards I'm going to stamp the same silhouette image, and I'm going to stamp that with the Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide ink, because when it comes to stamping, I prefer the oxides over the distress inks, because the oxides have the pigments in them, so they do stamp better. So both of these I stamped a couple times with the Uncharted Mariner Oxide ink, and again, just chef's kiss. This color ink on the Island Blue cardstock, it was just, I don't know, it just made me happy. So I stamped the sentiment on the inside as well. I love the mix of fonts, and I couldn't resist adding, and I said this in my last video, the From Your Favorite Witch sentiment on the inside with Seedless Preserves Distress Oxide ink, because I could technically add that to every single card I send out. But anyway, stamped the insides of the cards. And then for my card fronts, I had cut down some black cardstock to slightly larger than each of these panels, and I adhered them together with craft tacky glue. And then I adhered them to the card bases. And because these were still the teensiest bit warped, and because I was doing 2 of them, so I didn't want to like bother, I just adhered everything together, and then I just stick it under my Misty. Just something flat and large, just to hold everything down for a couple minutes, let that glue dry, and we're good to go. So I did the same thing with the mini slimline card. Adhered the panel to some black cardstock, adhered that to my card base, stuck it under the Misty once everything was lined up, let that sit for a minute, we're good to go. My sentiments, I popped on with some thin foam squares. They got a little bit of dimension. And then the little sentiments that I had heat embossed on the plum cardstock, since I had scraps of this cardstock, I just trimmed down several little pieces and stacked them together. So this is one way to also adhere little sentiment strips, or you can just like cut down foam squares. Either or, it just depends on my mood, which method I prefer to do. So I adhered those little layers together to give these sentiments a bit of dimension, and then adhered these to each of the card fronts as well. And I was using these are the new Simon detail scissors. I'm really liking them. Like really liking them. So there's always something though about new scissors. Like, how many pairs of scissors do we have? I have like a good half a dozen that I work with constantly. But every time I get a new pair of scissors, it's like new school supplies, you know? Loved buying the school supplies for the kids, and it's just like there's something about like a brand new fresh pack of pencils. It's just, again, chef's kiss. Anyway, I added some little holographic stars to my backgrounds because, again, it's too perfect not to. You know, I could have done shakers like I did in my previous video, but this time I decided not to do the shaker. This time just to adhere them. So I've got just the stars and the sparkle. And then the background is sparkly as well. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but those mica sprays, they're so much fun. And you'll actually be able to see it better here because the camera won't focus for a second. So you can really see the sparkle on the heat embossed witch. How fun is that? I love it. It really helps it to stand out, which is super, super fun. And then both of these cards I paired with black envelopes. And like I always do, I will have a supply list below the video and a link to my blog post. I'll have picture links in the blog post. All that will be directly below the video in the description box if any of you are interested. Thank you all so much for watching, for subscribing, for especially thumbs upping and commenting. I very much appreciate it, and it really does help. And I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.